everyone would please rise for the pledge and we stand for the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. We just thank you for this beautiful time of year. We just thank you for the farmers being able to get out into the fields and to harvest. And we just pray for bountiful yields for each and every one of them. We thank you for this community. We thank you for the people in this community. We thank you for the people in this room. We just pray for your guidance and wisdom. And we've experienced loss in this community recently. We usually do throughout the year, but it just seems like more so recently. We just pray for your comfort and your strength upon all those who mourn the loss of loved ones. We're reminded all too often how fragile and how quick our lives are. And we just pray for your wisdom, and we pray for your guidance and your strength to help us to be the loving neighbors to one another that you would ask us to be. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. All right. Jan, if you would.
Brandon Elmore.
Present.
Bob Wade.
Here.
Jason Brewer.
Here.
Tim Heiss.
Here.
Tito Frias.
Here.
All right. Trust you've had an opportunity to review the minutes, or the consent agenda, I should say. Do you have any questions or comments? Bob?
Just out of curiosity, the fence that Gabbard installed, I was just curious where that was.
That's part of an economic development project we worked with Carson Parks on to basically reinstall the fence that had to be taken down for their project.
Okay.
It was just part of a $400,000 project.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I will motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second. Oh, we have a first and we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Consent agenda approved as presented. We have no presenters. Department reports. I want to read something to you from the Richmond Fire Department. Dated Friday, September 30th, 2022. Dearest Union City Fire Department, thank you so much for your service and dedication to the City of Richmond and to the Richmond Fire Department during our time of grieving for fallen officer Sierra Burton. Your commitment to our city on September 26th, 2022 did not go unnoticed. With deepest gratitude, Timothy R. Brown, Interim Assistant Fire Chief, City of Richmond. So just appreciate that. It's just, it was very sweet of them to send that. And it was also hats off to our guys for doing the right thing and being there in a very tough time. On a lighter note, we also had a press release that went out today, and my apologies, I meant to have printouts for you guys to take a look at, but the press release was regarding Cardinal Ethanol and their commitment to Vision Corner, and it was a $100,000 commitment to Vision Corner, so huge, tremendous blessing, tremendous shot in the arm to that project. So, so that was obviously great news. They have no department heads here, so Jan?
I don't have anything.
Okay, council members, Tito, we'll start with you.
Okay, I had one question. So sometime in the past, Union City, if I understand correctly, Union City would purchase police cars. And if I understood correctly, the city had car repair facilities, equipment, supplies, and city employees actually doing the repairs and maintenance. Former Mayor Brian Conklin once explained to me that we had done away with our vehicle repair capacity because it was way too expensive. In fact, he had done away with buying vehicles. Instead, he explained, we would lease them. That would save us money by requiring less maintenance, and our fleet would keep looking nice and working well because we could always end a lease on an aging vehicle and replace it with a newer one. Have we gone back to simply purchasing vehicles, or are we still leasing them?
Yes and no. So the vehicles that that was occurring with they're being managed through a lease purchase agreement, meaning we do technically lease the vehicle for a period of time, and then there's a buyout. Now, the vehicle we just purchased recently was to finish the project and put take-home vehicles underneath all of our police officers. We bought 2 used vehicles, a Tahoe and a Dodge Charger, to basically facilitate that plan that was started about 7, 8, 9 months ago by Chief Wells. So we were just finishing that, and we were short some staff, so it wasn't a big deal when we got the staff on duty. We needed to get that finished. Just a heads up, we are in the middle of an evaluation with Enterprise Fleet Management, and we are looking at whether or not it is truly financially a cost savings to be leasing our fleet. They're telling us that it is. They're telling us that if we're purchasing the vehicles outright, we're probably spending more money than we should, but we don't have those numbers, and that will, once I get all that information, that will be formally presented to you guys to make that decision on moving forward. Currently, vehicles should be in a pretty stable position. We have a need for a service truck for the wastewater plant. We're looking at that. I'm looking at a couple vehicle grants that are out there to see if those will serve it and meet any needs that we have. And then I'm looking at the enterprise leasing option with their fleet management software. So.
Thank you very much. And just a word to the public. I like to ask the hard questions. That's what I'm known for. But Steve has given awesome, complete answers. And no, I did not give him a heads up on this one. He just knows what he's doing, okay? Just saying. That's all I have. That's all I have.
No, good question. Thank you. Tim, anything?
No, I'll add just a little bit with that. As part of that transition was also that we had been using some older, less expensive initial purchase vehicles in past years and transitioned into new or nearly new vehicles that because the maintenance costs were exceeding the practical limits on some of the older vehicles, and also the dependability became a problem. That was one of the reasons that Chief Wells started making a transition to change the fleet direction a bit. And it's really, with some modification, that's just now really we're kind of in this position now with a varied age fleet, but relatively new. We're not, our oldest vehicles are still very in good service, but we've got a good rotation. I think we're in a pretty good range in terms of rotation now, and the maintenance costs I don't think are bad at all.
Jason?
I just wanted to mention we had our last Cars and Coffee this past Saturday, and just wanted to thank everyone who brought their cars and trucks up these past 5 months, the public for supporting us, and of course Travis and everyone at Hometown Coffee for their support. We had met a lot of new great people, had perfect weather every single time we had this event, and so yeah, great turnouts, and we'll be back next year, next June.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
So June will be the kickoff.
Yeah.
And my apologies, I wanted to be there Saturday. We had an unusual Saturday morning high school football game because TEC day was at
Yep,
Ball State.
yep.
So that took away some patrons probably of the car
Yeah.
show. So. But that's wonderful. Good share. Bob?
Just one item, that there was no petitions filed for the month of October, so there'll be no area planning commission meeting this month. And that's all I have.
Brandon?
Just a couple of things. So, Randolph County Solid Waste Management, they're offering a paper shred on the 15th out at Didier's, and then that is from 9 to noon. And then the last day actually for Pollution Solution for the season will actually be this Saturday as well from 9 to noon out there at Pollution Solution. So they have 2 days, Thursday from 3 to 6 this week, and then Saturday from 9 to noon. They also have, I guess, a couple of special days, November 19th and December 17th, but the last regular days of operation for the year will actually be this week. So just to throw that out there. And then I noticed in the minutes from the Board of Works from 2 weeks ago, there was approval to condemn the property at 538 West Pearl Street. And it sounded as though there was the potential that the city was looking into assistance with demoing the property. The reason I bring that up is, we've got Doran Associates here in town. They've mobilized their vehicles. I don't know if there's any possibility of, while they're here, moving forward with something like that. Because it is a fairly large building.
It is. That's an awesome notion. We're challenged because that verbiage that was in that, and that was the Board of Works, you said?
Yes.
And then I wasn't at that meeting, but I know the thought process behind that was trying to approach either county or, is there another entity we talked about approaching, but maybe not?
Yeah, we have received 4 competitive bids on demoing 5 properties similar in size and structure type within the city. We're looking at a bigger kind of all-inclusive package deal to tear down $100,000 worth of blight.
Homes to not buildings.
Yeah, so we are getting ready to have that bigger conversation. I would, not saying anything negative about Doran Associates, but yes, they are mobilized. Yes, that does make a lot of sense, but they are up against a pretty hard deadline of the second week in November, to where they're going to start paying $1,500 a day in penalty, and they're a long way from being done.
Yeah.
So I don't want to engage them in any conversation that's going to distract them from the current blight project that they're already working on. So
Okay. Yeah.
Great question, though. And the
It
idea
sounds like
behind
there's some things in the works then.
Yeah,
there's
for a package
things in the
deal.
works. We're still looking for funding.
Okay.
Question on that. That's the company that's tearing down the 4 buildings downtown, right?
Correct.
I mean, I don't know about you, but we know the old city building is a major challenge. So I mean,
Because there's a lot behind it to come. I mean, they've got to redo the wall and the support and everything. It's a huge project.
I didn't realize about the deadline piece of it, so that
Yeah, I
makes
didn't
sense.
either.
There was a 75-day deadline in the bid spec. Every bidder knew it.
That's imposed by Oakwood, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and it was extended because of the complication of this specific project, especially the neighboring building. It was extended 15 days, so to give them 75 days to do the project. And they're doing good work, but it's a slow process. So I'm hopeful that they get it done in the timeline. So. But I definitely don't want to distract them with another project, for sure.
Right.
Anything else?
No, that's all I had.
Steve?
You want me to do B&M or just?
That's new business.
Okay, the only thing I have is the turf tank arrives tomorrow. So after a long-awaited delay because of COVID and supply chain issues, I got confirmation on Friday that it'll be here tomorrow morning between the hours of 10 and 1 o'clock.
And I will address, we have a visitor in the room. Actually, he's, if we don't scare him off, he'll be one of our regular attendees as his availability allows. Mr. Josiah Bowers, your last name correct?
Yes.
Yes. Josiah, welcome, and he's one of our first of a few, the way I understand from Mr. Loomis, if I understand correctly, of student representatives. Josiah, if you don't mind, I apologize for putting you on the spot, but if you don't mind, introduce yourself, your grade, obviously where you go to school, and then if you don't mind just sharing any updates at all that are pertinent to the community, even if it's something as simple as, the fall break, pending fall break, or any activities going on.
So my name is Josiah Bowers. I am in grade 11 or a junior at Union City Senior High School, and so definitely fall break is one of the bigger things that are coming up, and I don't really see many activities going on at school until much later in the fall break. I know that Halloween is probably going to be a popular thing after, as the month of October rolls around. So,
Cool.
yeah,
No,
that's all I have.
No, that's wonderful. No, I appreciate you being here. And again, this is created to be a conduit. You know, you able to gain some insight of what goes on here and take it back to the school and share as you guys deem appropriate. And then also us gaining insight to anything that you guys want to share. You know, that's hot on your guys' plates. So that's wonderful. Very good.
Hey,
Thank you.
You want me to address this real quick?
Before that, just
yes,
want to say that Josiah is also an accomplished actor.
Ah,
I've seen him in school musicals
cool.
and plays.
Awesome.
They have started practice for the play.
Oh, there you go. Is this the junior senior play or what is
Yes,
this?
it's the junior senior play.
Okay.
I don't exactly know when it's happening, but they have started practice for it, so that'll be probably rolling around more towards November, December,
Cool.
around there.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, thank you. Yeah, if you don't mind, that really fits in better under your umbrella.
Okay, so I laid in front of you the comprehensive economic development strategy. Last Thursday evening, I attended the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. That's basically the regionalized economic development arm. I attended the meeting. The SED, which is what I handed you, is currently prepared in draft form. We have about 6 weeks to make any amendments or any edits. Just if we find something in there that we need to maybe suggest gets changed or tweaked or whatever, there's no guarantee that they're going to do it. This is a true collaboration between 6 counties. We have submitted 5 basically infrastructure type projects to be part of this moving forward. Most of those projects we are pursuing outside of this possibility, but this is truly the path forward for regionalized economic development and starting to obtain true federal dollars, meaning monies handed out by the federal government, not federal dollars handed out through the state. These are money that would be coming from DC. So this is truly what this is. I know several of you have participated in programs like Cultivating Communities and things like that. All of that data, every question that the thousands of people that have participated in these meetings all over the 6 counties is basically in this document. So the information goes back 5 years. It's prepared by a whole lot smarter people than me. Civil engineers spoke and tried to explain all the data. I think it went over about 75% of the people's head that was in the room. But we are on the right track. You cannot create jobs, period. That can't happen. You have to create place. You have to create a reason for people to be here, and then the jobs will follow the people. That is proven. This document proves that by looking at all the numbers and doing your own personal evaluation. You will see that creating place is how you grow community. So if you have time to review it, if you have questions, let me know. I attend these meetings. We have direct contact. Our rep is retiring, so they will be looking for a new head of this organization. That process is also starting, so if you have a suggestion for that, you might toss that out. It's always been a part-time position. They're wanting to make it a full-time position. They believe that this document proves that it needs to be full-time for this 6-county region. This is the same region that we scored the first place project on the READY grant. It's the same economic development group that we participated in that READY grant project. So it is very beneficial. You can see I didn't make copies because it's a lot of pages. You can see all the projects that have been submitted for this document for infrastructure, development. If you care to look, it's broken down by county. Again, we submitted 5 projects. I've got 10 more in the hopper that I'll probably add to the 5 we've submitted. The only other project submitted in Randolph County was one for Winchester for, I believe, a stormwater, wastewater extension. So we are doing everything we can to find dollars to get these projects done. We probably have a total of 15 that we're working on and building the financing as we speak. So if there's anything else you want done, you gotta get me the information so we can start tracking it down.
We submitted 5 of the 6, not trying to be hogs, we're just trying to be aggressive. All right. The old business, ordinance 2022-12, which is the salary ordinance. This is on the second reading. Approved on first reading by title only. Been no changes since the first reading. Any questions or comments since then? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move we accept ordinance 2022-12, salary ordinance on the second reading by title only.
We have a first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
I think that was Jason. Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Brandon Elmore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy,
Yes.
Jason Brewer,
Yes.
Tim Heiss,
Yes.
Peter Frias.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-13, which is the AMP ordinance to amend zoning map on the second reading also by title only. This also approved on the first reading. There's been no changes or tweaks to this either. Any questions or comments? Yes?
Okay. Has AMP Trucks or Workhorse been informed that regardless of our approving the zoning change, they cannot yet bring in their horses until after we amend our livestock ordinance?
We've not informed them of that, but again, they're a long way from that because they've not started construction yet of the
barn?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I will move that we adopt ordinance 2022-13, AMP ordinance to amend the zoning map on the second reading by title only.
We have a first, we have a second.
I'll second.
Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Is that Tito?
Yes.
Brandon Elmore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Brewer,
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
And ordinance 2022-14, which are the budget estimates. This also is on second reading. Also, no changes since the first passage. Any questions or comments on this? Yes?
I do. I looking through the numbers, I see that local road and street appropriation is only 15,000. We have lots of roads and streets that need repair. It just strikes me that we have such a low appropriation for that item.
I believe you asked this last time.
I might have, but it's like still bugging me.
Well, we can't appropriate more money than we have, for one thing. And local road and street, the amount of money we get to that, from that, we don't know exactly the revenue we're gonna get every year. It's 15 to 20,000 that we get from the state for that particular fund. There is some money that's in there. If you would like to use it for more streets, the council can do some additional appropriation for the money that's built up in there. I'm not sure how much is in there, but it's not that much.
And what's very important to note, we go through community crossings to get the overwhelming majority of our funds for roads and streets.
So if we get funds from them, we would do another
These funds
appropriation?
these funds act as a matching opportunity for
Oh.
that.
So we spend quite a bit more than I mean, that's
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
what we spend.
There's another budget line item in the street in the NVH, and it's like 100,000 in the
Yeah.
budget for that. And that 100,000 plus that 15, is usually what we use that in every bit of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Sounds like acceptable.
Good deal. Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move we accept ordinance 2022-14 budget estimates on the second reading by title only.
We have a first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Brandon Elmore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Brewer.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Theo Frias.
Yes.
And item under new business is State Route 32. I will turn this over. This is good, but also mandatory news. You're gonna get insight to that here in a second.
So B&M Steel, they currently set in the city limits. They do not have access to sanitary sewer and or water. We need to get them that. This has been a project for several years that has been worked on. We've looked at different ways to fund it. We've looked at different ways to make this happen for them. And it was brought to my attention by Mr. Rader back in late July. We've been working diligently on it. We've got the quote. The quote from Cooley's is about $170,000 to get both of them from Progress Drive underneath the roadway to B&M's plant or their property. This is imperative that we do this now. This is also one of the projects we're working on for funding. So, but it's imperative we do it now because they're getting ready to expand their staging lot, and they're getting ready to add employees, and they're going to probably be seeing some significant growth in their facility very soon. Currently, it's a violation of our local ordinance because they do not have these services. So, and it's our responsibility to get them from the main to the curb. So, I need to get it onto their property. We've met with Baker Tilly, our accounting firm. We are able to use the money from both wastewater and water out of their depreciation funds to make this happen. And we would keep this project in the hopper of other projects that we're working on funding opportunities for. We would just move it to a reimbursement type grant instead of a true funding grant, because we need to get this project done sooner rather than later. It can't wait any longer.
That's why it was good news because of expansion, but mandatory because we're bound by our own ordinances.
They're probably twofold on with the expansion. They probably have to have the sewer to meet their load
And
as far as number of employees.
I mean, I wish I didn't have to say this. I mean, this is a business that's literally running hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of technical equipment, and they're going to the bathroom in a porta john.
Yeah.
So this needs to be corrected. And again, we had a transition. I was brought into the conversation in late July. This needs to happen sooner rather than later.
Is this servicing both facilities?
Primarily, it's going to be the one to the north, but yes, I know that he's talking to some local contractors about getting services to both facilities. And theoretically, the home just to the south would be eligible to tie into that as well. And there's a couple other business opportunities that would potentially get benefit from this. It's not the ideal situation because the sewer has to be pumped to the north, but you know, it's better than what we have currently.
So are we going, we gotta go from the east side of the road to the west side and get to that main that's running parallel to 32 on the road.
We gotta get to
west side.
we gotta get to the pump.
Yeah. Is the water the same thing? Because that water main comes.
No, we can tie just into the water main.
Just tie the water main.
It's a 10-inch water main that runs to it's on the west side of
Yeah.
32. I just gotta get it under the roadway.
Yeah.
Any questions?
So these are funds that we already have.
The funds are already there.
Correct.
It's going to require an appropriation,
Additional
Jan, is that
appropriation,
correct?
yeah.
Well,
Because it's
it's
coming
water
out-
and sewage funds, so.
Yeah, so it's coming out of depreciation, it's water and sewage funds. They basically replenish. We will try to find a grant to basically pay this back. I mean, that's why it's not been done. We've been looking for specific funding to do this project, but like I said, it's just something that we can't wait any longer on. And I have coolies scheduled, so hopefully they're going to be here doing it in about 10 to 12 days.
What was the dollar amount you said on that?
Total, it's 170. I think one's 93 and one's 76 or something. The water is the most expensive.
Somebody else have a question on that?
Yeah, there we go, 76, 178, and 93, 458.
You want that as all as one motion?
Either way is fine, you can just get both amounts in the motion if you want.
Just one question, where's that work going to be, where's it located? Like, I'm sorry, I just,
No, you're okay. B&M's right across from Workhorse.
oh.
It's right across from Eco.
Yeah, basically right across from me. Yeah, literally across from me.
So all the services are at the corner of Progress Drive and 32, which Progress Drive is the road that goes back to the west next to the Eco building. So we need to get the services from that corner under the roadway to B&M's property.
So they're gonna cut off some of the traffic on 32? Is that gonna?
For a period of time, absolutely. It will slow it down for sure. Right now, the quote is to bore under the ground. So they're not going to open cut the road. If we can open cut the road, it's going to save us considerable amounts of money. But we don't have permit access to open cut 32 yet. So right now, the project is slated to be bored under the ground.
Any other questions? No, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion, we authorize the expenditure of $76,178.93,458 for the project of supplying water and sewer to B&M Steel and other, potentially other
Well, yeah, I mean,
locations.
yes, it could potentially serve others down the road, but for them in the immediate future. We have a first, and we have a second.
I'll second.
That was Brandon. Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Brandon Elmore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Brewer,
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
All right, do we have any visitors wishing to address the board? If so, please stand, state your name, state your business. Each person has 3 minutes. No, either way, it's fine. Sure. Thank you.
My name is Jim Nunez Jr. I come from Winchester, Indiana, and I would like to thank Union City for helping us I'm also the president of WCCPC, which is Winchester Community Culture Preservation Committee. Whew, that was a breath. You guys has helped us a lot in bringing a lot of your residents from Union City over to Winchester. And in behalf of us, we'd like to thank you for it takes a community to help another community, and you guys do every year because this is our 76th Mardi Gras. And we bring, anytime you guys have something, we make sure that Winchester participates in it. And but that's the reason why I'm here, to just give you a thank you, because you have our poster still Mardi Gras in here, and but we appreciate everything, and so that's why I'm here today.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Pass this around. Any other visitors wishing to address the council? If not, be safe. The day of the next city council meeting is Monday, October 24th at 6 p.m. The date of the next Board of Public Works meeting is also Monday, October 24th at 1 p.m. I would hereby entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a first, we have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.